Welcome to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast. So hello everyone and welcome to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, and I'm so excited about the show on tonight and my special guest that I have to bring to you all. Planting Positive Seeds always loves to, talk to different people and see how they're planting positive seeds in the lives of others, but what they do each and every day. So I love to bring guests on Inspirational Talks so we get to see how they're making their stamp in the world and just find out about all these amazing people all over the world. So without further ado, I have Miss Rita Green who's coming on the show tonight. Welcome, Rita. How are you?
I am fabulous. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. When I first met you, and I don't want to give so much away, but when I first met you and started to, learn about some of the things that you did, I wanted to have you on the show because planting positive seeds in the lives of others. That's like our theme, and we get to talk to like everyday people who are doing this, and who are living their lives and helping others, and also living their dreams that God has given them. And so I'm honored to have you as a part of the show on tonight.
Oh, to God be the glory. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you so much. So, Miss Rita, could you first off just tell some of the listeners about yourself? Just share a little bit about yourself and your career with the listeners of Inspirational Talks.
Absolutely. Well, I'm Rita M. Green, and I developed a company called Go Fit Co. in the middle of COVID. I have a corporate background dealing with casino sales, hospitality, hotel management, but was pushed into entrepreneurship. I started out feeling like I was an associate sitting at, a CEO sitting at an associate's desk. And it got really uncomfortable for me. But, a lot of times we sit and um, we just take it, whatever it is that we're in the midst of, because it's safe and it's the safe route to take. So I sat there for years, 5, 10, 15 years, just, at job after job, knowing that I was meant for more and that I could do more. And it came a time where I knew that I needed to stop trading time for money,
Right.
but I didn't know how to stop. And that's the good thing about God. God will shut stuff down. God will move things around. He will make some things happen to where you have no choice but to move. When he tells me to be still, I'm definitely still. But when he says move this past year, I definitely moved, and I'm glad that I did. My company is, again, GoFig. It's a digital marketing and project management firm that pretty much takes the hassle out of people's hustle by getting things done. We do like social media management, web development and design, course creation, graphics, online advertising. These done for you services, they free up your time so you can focus on other areas of your business and your brand. And that's how I'm serving the world, because we've got so many entrepreneurs, so many coaches, so many bosses out here that can't do it by themselves. I can't do it by myself. You have to have a team. And I have a servant heart.
Yeah.
So how can I serve but also put food on the table? Let me run this business real quick. Let me be able to do both and be happy about it.
Wow. And that is so amazing. So congratulations for first starting your business in the midst of COVID. That took courage and bravery and the boldness to know, that you could achieve with God with you, all things are possible, and that you were able to be the CEO that in your heart, that you knew in your heart that you were. To birth that dream. So that is so amazing because I know so many times, like you said, we're sitting behind desks. We're doing things sometimes unfulfilled just because the money is good, just because it's familiar or we've been there. But to step out and to do what we know is in our heart to do, like you said, having a servant's heart, you could do it every day and not get paid for. But when you create that business, when you created this business to help you and also your family in the middle of COVID, that's just a testament of your faith. So
Yes.
congratulations again, for starting your business and being able to help, so many other small business owners and entrepreneurs that need that help, because time management and doing everything and wearing many, many hats. I know that I have done that so many times, and it's just like you got to put the advertising hat on, you got to put the
Yes.
show hat on, you got to put the promotion hat on, then you got to put the data entry hat on. So it's like so much stuff that you have to do. But if they come to you, it's a one-stop shop, and that you can help them with everything that they need. So congratulations again.
Thank
So
you.
you're so welcome, Miss Rita. Can you tell the listeners of Inspirational Talk tonight what inspires you to do, what you do?
Well, to know that my children are watching me and they're developing ideas on how to do things for themselves is what's most inspiring. To know that I'm teaching my children not just by having a conversation, but by actually doing is the most inspiring. There's people I'm sure I'm inspiring that I have no idea that I'm inspiring, and that's an inspiration within itself. That's a blessing to be an inspiration to someone else. Um, my children I have four children. I have four children, and two are 13 and 12, and the other two are 2 and 4. So those mini ones, they're not trying to hear the entrepreneurship right now. But those two big ones, they're interested in film, they're interested in the arts, and they're very liberal children. And I'm happy that I'm giving them that foundation to know that they can create that film studio. They can create, a theater around dance or whatever it is that they want to do because they just can. When we're young, we have our parents that tell us, well, you can be an astronaut, baby. Yeah, that's what you want to do. You can do anything you want to. And sometimes we might scoff and be like, okay, you were just saying that because you're my parent. But I'm actually showing my kids that you can do really whatever you want. It doesn't matter. And that's my message to inspire others to know that it doesn't matter if they're 50, 60, 80, it does not matter. Just do it. We've all got one life, and we need to make our print here. We need to make our footprint in the sand. So teaching my children that they can create their own course in the world, that they can go their own way, find their own path with the help of God, of course, is what's most inspiring to me because I'm showing them that I'm doing it every day.
Yes, and that is what's most important, because like you said, you never know, who's watching you. You never know who's watching you, but to have your children to kind of you as you model, they are observing what you're doing. I can tell you, Rita, that's one of the things that I do with my children. My children are 10 and 12, and ever since they were old enough to kind of go with me on some, like I'm an author, so when they would go with me to the book festivals, or when I would have tables or book signings, I was modeling to them what it looks like to be an entrepreneur, what it looks like when you follow your God-given dream. And I, would often tell them how God gave me the dream of being an author at the age of 14. And so just, taking them along with me and them being able to see that it takes hard work, that it takes believing in yourself, that it takes for you to do what you need to do or learn what you need to learn. I always hope that it was, sparking something within them, that when they get old enough, just as you alluded to with your children, that they'll be able to know, this is something that I can achieve, that I can do it, that I can work at it. Whatever I put my mind to, with God on my side, that I can achieve it. And so that's a wonderful thing. And even the little ones, they're still watching. They're not
Yeah.
really concentrating about it right now. But I tell you the truth, my children growing up now, I can take them somewhere with me and they can set my table out just the way I like it. I can give them a business card when I'm, setting up something or talking to somebody at my table, and they can walk up to a person and say, hey, this is my mom and these are her books, and give them a card. It's because they see me do it
Yes.
so many times. And so my heart is just overjoyed, when I see that. So to all of the listeners that are out there, if you're thinking about either starting your business or, you want to do, something in your heart that God has been telling you to do, just, start to plan and get started because you never know, who's waiting on you, who's watching you, or who needs what you have. I think oftentimes, I know a lot of the days now I've been saying to myself that they're waiting on me. So, whatever business or whatever that I need to do, my stamp in the world, I've been focusing on showing up every day because I say to myself that they're waiting on me. So we thank you, Miss Rita, for showing up. We thank you for following your dreams. We thank you for being inspired to share your dreams with your children so that they will be able to know that it's possible for them to do the same thing to follow their dreams. So thank you for being an inspiration to your children and also to many and to the listeners, because I know there's someone out there that's on the fence, that's hesitating, but I hopefully when they hear this podcast, they'll be able to say, if they're doing it, I can believe in myself and I can do it too. So thank you
Absolutely.
so much. So here on Planet Positive Tea, we like to, talk about some of the highlights and some of the achievements, in the journey. And I see you have, we met at the Top Influencers at the Success Women's Conference. So congratulations again. That's where I met you down on the Gulf Coast. You're making such an amazing stamp in the world with what you're doing. Also, I see that you have the Woman of Achievement finalist and corporate division 100 successful women to know, the Woman of Achievement finalist. You have so many awards and achievements. So could you just tell me, spotlight some of them and just share with the listeners, how you felt in different achievements that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, getting an accolade in the form of an award or a nomination is definitely humbling, and it's definitely something that makes your resume pop. Although I do like the achievements that I get that people don't know about. I
Yeah,
like the achievements I get when I'm moving one step closer to my spiritual purpose. I
yes,
like those achievements that help somebody else, the achievements that fed somebody for a day. Those type of achievements are the ones that I'm most proud of. I tell everybody that, the sky may be the limit, which is why you need to focus on space. There's so much that you can do for other people that will give you a reward bigger than any title that you can get from any magazine, any website, any organization. Although I love them all and I appreciate them all because they're very important. These people, they care about what you do, which is why they nominate you for these things. And it's so wonderful to be acknowledged, especially being a Black woman. Oftentimes, more than not, especially in the corporate sector, we're not acknowledged a lot.
right.
So it's amazing to be acknowledged and to get that pat on the back, especially when it's in front of your peers. But I do like the achievements that happen when no one's looking. I like those personal feats of victory, but that include me just getting up for the day. Sometimes you might have this heavy spirit on you that's telling you you can't or you won't, telling you you're not good enough. You have this doubt just breeding and festering within your soul. But when you make up in your mind that you're not going to allow that to take your joy for that day, and you get up anyway, and you just be a light and you carry that joy with you, that's an achievement. So we have to celebrate the small things that most people wouldn't even know that we're doing, in the confines of our own minds, of our own homes. There's many achievements I have every single day. If I have a rough day with the kids, my achievement was not drinking the whole bottle of wine, but just getting a glass. you, you know what I'm saying? I
Yes,
only had one glass today. I did good.
yes,
So I like those highlights in life that bring about more personal recognition, more so than the ones that are out there for the world to see. Although again, all of the awards and accolades that I've received over my lifetime, all the way down to grade school, being called up on the stage for something, we can't forget those either. Um,
Exactly.
I tell my kids, I show them a honor roll certificate, or, a most biggest helper or something award from second, third grade. And they're like, oh my gosh, you kept that? Yes, because that shows you how far you've come. It shows your character. It shows what you were doing then, and it shows what you're doing now. You weren't in the principal's office. I didn't save any, detention slips. I saved all the good that you did. And so as we get older, I think of these achievements and awards, such as that. It's just
Right.
another notch in the belt of what we're doing right.
Exactly. And you talked about something that I'm like you. I'm humbled and I'm very modest. I love the awards, but for me, I work from a servant's, what I'm saying, mindset of just helping people. And because I've done so many things, what I'm saying, that just helping people, or being nice, or being kind, or like doing different things. And so the highlights of my life too, it's just sometimes even getting the feedback from people who've read the book, and they understand it the exact way that God intended for it to come over to them. And so, and I tell the same thing to my children too, about how I didn't get in trouble in high school, or in school ever, and I was never in the detention, or had any demerit. But I will always share with them, like I was the peer counselor, or we ran this group, or we helped out to do many things. And so I've lived a life of doing that. So that was, a great acknowledgement, because there are so many things, like you said, even just waking up in the morning. Because I can remember, even when I was younger, because I attempted to commit suicide when I was younger, just because the weight was very, very heavy, and I felt misunderstood, because I was this cheerful person that I am today. I was this person who always, loved to help and empower other people. Hence, planting positive seeds, what God gave me, because He wanted me to do the same thing that He did for me, to get me over that hump when I was 14. And so, from that time to now in my life, I partnered with the Lord to be able to plant positive seeds, to be able to, be kind to other people and show the fruit of the Spirit. And so, the highlights of our lives are, saying, like you said, to be recognized and to be honored. It's humbling, but it's also like the day to day actions and the small things, because I do say, Rita, to celebrate the small victories and also some of the large ones. But I want to say congratulations to you for everything that you've accomplished and the things to come, because I know that there are going to be so many more amazing things that you will accomplish in your lifetime. So I just want to already congratulate you ahead of time.
I heard that. Same
Thank
to you, my sister. Same to you.
you.
Yes.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much. Now, as we are on the show, I also love to share with the listeners, sometimes when we overcome obstacles, because I share with them, because I want to be as authentic with them, to let them know that, if they are in a hard place, or if they're in a place where they feel like they can't go on, I want to share, let the listeners, the interviewers, share sometimes when they had to overcome an obstacle, and help them to kind of understand, like your mindset, or what happened and how did you overcome it. So could you share with the listeners, any time in your life that you had to overcome an obstacle?
Absolutely. One obstacle I had to overcome had to do with losing self. And I was in a relationship that caused me to lose myself. It drew me farther away from God, which He wasn't going to let me go anyway. And it needed to happen because God allows certain things to happen to draw us closer to Him in the end. But that's a whole nother story.
Ooh,
Um,
I know it.
yes, yes. But I was in a relationship that was very, very toxic. And we were both very, very young. And um, it was just a lot of emotional abuse. And from there, that took a toll on me because, like you, I was very, very happy go lucky. I didn't get in trouble too much in school either, but in college, I did what I had to do. Okay. I
Right.
did. I lived my life. Okay. So my kids can't get anything over on me. But to be that free spirit, and to be so outgoing and personable and a lover of humanity, to be found in the confines of four walls with someone who is telling you every day what you're not,
Yeah.
was one of the biggest obstacles I think I had to overcome, because I started to believe the words that were coming out of his mouth.
Hmm.
Um, and you are what you're around, you are what you eat, and
Yes.
eating is not necessarily from the fridge. You eat from the TV, you eat from your friends, you eat from your enemies. Whatever you're feeding on spiritually, physically, emotionally, that's what you become. And being within those confines of those four walls of tumultuous arguments and despair and violence just took me down to a place that I didn't even know myself. I didn't even know myself at that point.
Hmm.
And the way I overcome was I said one prayer, and I have shared this prayer with people that have been in similar situations. And you can use this prayer for anything. If you
Hmm.
don't know what to do about a situation, this prayer right here has always worked for me. And the prayer is, Lord, if this is for me, then make it right.
Yes.
But if it's not, then I need you to remove it and make it over, because I can't do it by myself and I need you.
Yes. Yes.
And when I've prayed that prayer every single time in my life, at any obstacle, whether it be corporate, relationship, or if I'm about to make a move that I'm unsure of, I really, really, really don't know how to get out of it or what I should do, I pray that prayer, and God will make it so He fixes it, or He'll make it so I have to walk away.
Yes.
And with that particular relationship, I had to walk away. It was something so vast that happened within my life that I had to walk away from that relationship, and God had to make it over. And I knew it was Him. I knew it was Him. So I say that to say, if you have anything going on in your life that you consider to be an obstacle and you see it as a mountain, just know that mountains were meant to be climbed. It
Yes.
doesn't matter that it's in your path. It was meant to be climbed. You've got to climb it so you can go over it and get to the next one. That's how you build strength. That's how you build endurance. You have hikers that go to Mount Everest. I mean, people die on Mount Everest. It's a graveyard,
Yes.
but why are they going to that mountain? Why are they going to something so hard? Because they want to say that they did it. So don't necessarily see an obstacle as a bad thing. That's your way of being tested. That's your way of building endurance and strength. And the reward is so much better on the other side if you can just stick with it and stick through it. It's so much better on the other side.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much for those powerful words and that prayer. Because I know many times I think I was, kind of in a breathless just way, ask the Lord, let thy will uh be done, saying in whatever situation, because I never want to, say I want to be yielded. And like you said, even if it's something that I've gotten myself into, and if it's not his will, I'm asking for wisdom and for direction and having to overcome those obstacles. Because I can tell you, Rita, the committing suicide, attempting to commit suicide, and just feeling like, my emotions being overwhelmed and feeling like I was misunderstood and nobody understood me. That was a hard thing a hard thing for me as a teenager. But I was so glad that the Lord stepped in and told me that I was validated. Now, although he did tell me this, so that was the one thing that I had to hold on to like all of my life, even until I believed it, because I still had rough times. I still had times when, the enemy was busy, or I had times when the days just didn't feel like everything was going wrong. But I had
Right.
one thing, and like you said, that mountain was there to show us that it could be moved. And so if the listeners out there, if you start looking at the situations and where you are right now and whatever moment that you're in, just know that you have the strength and pray the prayer that Miss Rita gave you one tonight, and know that you can overcome it, and know that there's greater on the other side. And I say this many times, and I'm going to say it slow, that you have to go through to grow through. And sometimes
Yes.
moments help us to grow. It helps us to stretch. It helps us to find our boldness. It helps us to build some courage in where we are, and just help us to see ourselves the way that God sees us. And so sometimes, the testing and trying of our faith will help us to persevere and to help us to continue to just press towards the mark and trust in the Lord. And so I thank you for sharing your journey of how you overcome, because it's never easy when you're going through it. But
Right.
one thing that I would always say, as I started to grow up and I had mirror conversations with myself, that I would say, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And so I
Yes.
know that the weapon would form, but it would not prosper. So I held on to the end part of it, that it will not prosper. And that's what helped me to gain my faith, that even when
Mm-hmm.
I was faced with things, that it would not prosper. And so to the
Yes.
listeners out there, just know that even though the weapons form, they will not prosper, and that you will overcome wherever you are and come out of the moment. And that mountain, like you said, will be moved. So I'm so
Yes.
thankful for that. So that was thank you for sharing. Most of the time, I love to ask our the interviewers, like, what are some fun things that we do, because we talk about work, we talk about business and what we do, but what are some fun things that you do outside of your business?
Well, my family, spending time with them is the most fun. Time with my husband, my kids. Um, I love the thrift store.
Okay.
I do. I will thrift store dive on it. Okay. I love the thrift store. You find so many things that other people have thrown away that might capture your heart. So I think the thrift store is amazing. And then I'm a nerd deep down inside. So I love to read and I love to play The Sims.
Mhm.
If I could just read all day, I would, but that doesn't make it no money. Although I could be like Oprah and do that 7 streams of income and make one of them where I'm a narrator on audiobooks.
Come on, look, we gotta work everything we can.
Right. Right. So let me just put that down as a goal.
Yes,
Um,
yes, yes.
yeah, but that family time, I mean, and it's the small things for me. It's waking up, it's fixing a big breakfast, having everybody at the table. It's going to the beach and spending time at the beach. For so long in the corporate world, I've had to be somewhere at a specific time, and I've had to keep my phone on, and I've had to do this and do that. And you sit down for breakfast and your phone rings and you have to answer it because it's your boss. I love the corporate years in life because they gave me the foundation to be able to build the business I have today. I really do. But I do love the flexibility of being able to just spend time with my kids and my husband. If I want to make sandwiches for lunch, I can go in there and do it. Movie nights are different for me now. Before the pandemic, working a 9 to 5, I didn't have time. I was tired. It just wasn't a joyful thing for me to do. And the kids feel that. The kids are like, oh man, mom, you don't, okay, well, you don't have to. They're so loving and caring about our feelings that they just put off what they really want to do. But now it's like, what do you want to do today, kids? And
Yeah.
that's one of the most fun things for me is to just be with them because I know they're going to get older. They're going to start families of their own. So I'm just trying to enjoy all those moments right now.
Yes, and that is most important. I'll tell you, I think my children have put me over to the side for Fortnite. they have pushed me out of their life. I know they love me deep down in the core, but it's just like, Mom, we are playing Fortnite. But I get you. I totally get you what about that family time, because so many times, I would do family movie night, saying, like, with my boys, or
Yeah.
anytime they would, do great things at school, we would always kind of do like a dance-a-thon. They could pick whatever music, clean music, whatever music they wanted to listen to, and we would kind of like go crazy to it. So little moments that they'll find, like you said, when they have a family different things that they can take into their life, and then just enjoying each other. I can even remember one time, I don't think I had ridden a bike like probably since so young. And my son had a bike, and I went outside, and I promise you, I felt like my legs were so wobbly, and he was laughing at me, and then we just had like a fun time of just laughing together. And so those moments, like with family, are like the best, and like you said, they're golden because it's something that they'll always remember. That you spent time with them and shared with them. But I'm
Yeah,
gonna
they're
let
not
go
gonna
ahead.
remember what you buy. They're gonna remember what you did.
Exactly. They're gonna
Board
go.
game nights, that's the good stuff.
Mm-hmm. That is. So that's why you want to keep that, make that impression. Just that it's happy times, and you're laughing and having fun. I was gonna say, but you can keep the thrift store. I cannot go into a thrift store. I just cannot. I think I'm like an organized shopper, so I have to see several of the same things on a rack for me to be able to, approach it
I
and
got you. Well, I found so much little trinkets and black art that people have went to like a paint and sip, and then they just send it to the thrift store, and I'm like, this is amazing.
mm-hmm.
Books that you would find in one of the major chains that's going to be $20. Somebody read it and got rid of it, and now you're purchasing it for 50 cents. So it's those little finds for me that really makes me smile.
Yeah, and I understand. I'm just gonna let somebody else go for me. Look,
Look, if I find something, I'm gonna get it to you.
okay, thank you. Look, just take it for me. But that's good. It's a good time, just to be able to have, those downtimes. And, for me, even like as a writer, I sometimes have to just watch movies for like my fun things to do outside of writing, because I will, as long as I have peace and quiet, I could probably stay behind my laptop or with a pen and a pad for a long time. But I found myself having to like pull myself away and kind of do something that would, make me laugh, or have some time that I'm not doing the business things. So that's the reason why I always be trying to, get my kids to do some things, or maybe just taking them to like the trampoline parks just to see them having fun. So that's really good. We have some time to kind of break up, our lives from business to, some of the things that we like. So it's been an amazing time, talking with you on the podcast on Inspirational Talks. I know we've had so much great value today to the listeners. Is there anything, like any final thoughts that you would like to share, or anything that you felt that you wanted to share with them that we didn't talk about? Feel free to share it, with the listeners, now.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is to love yourself, to forgive yourself, and to be kind to yourself. That's the biggest takeaway that I have from a personal standpoint. From a professional standpoint, we work 50, 60 hours for other people. We'll match that and work those same amount of hours for yourself, because when it's all said and done, and you have to put that will together to leave to your kids or your significant other or your family friend, you can't will somebody else's business to your kids or to them. You can't leave that to your favorite, organization or nonprofit. So make sure that the time that you're giving to that 9 to 5, that you're also giving that time to yourself. If you're at that 9 to 5, that's one thing I wish I would have done a long time ago. I think I would have been a lot farther than I am now. But at the same time, God's time is amazing. And when things happen in his
Yeah.
time, it's the right time anyway. So love yourself and work hard for yourself just as hard as you would for someone else.
Yes, yes, and that is some great advice. What I'm saying, for the listeners, because many times, we have to go through some things to learn how, we would do things differently, and also how, it makes an impact on our life to show up in the world. And so I'm so very thankful. Um, Miss Rita, could you share with them, share a little bit about your business, and if you want to share your how to get in contact with you, if they would want to work with you or your services open, just let the listeners know a little bit about your business and how they can get in touch with you.
Absolutely. So it's Go Fig Co. Again, it's digital marketing and project management. We're pretty much that second pair of hands that comes in and helps you run your business, helps you with your clients, and just makes your life easier from a professional standpoint. I can be found on Facebook and Instagram at GoFig. So facebook.com/GoFig and Instagram at GoFig. And just so you know, Go is spelled Geaux. It's the French spelling of go. So GeauxFig, Fig, just like figure it out. I can also be found on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/n/Rita M. Green. Yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to connect, I'm all for it. I'm all about growing. Collaboration is amazing. And if I can help you in any way, I'm here for it, even if it's not about a check. I mean, let's connect and do some things. That's what life is about. You only get one of them.
That is so awesome. What you heard it here, listeners. If you have some digital marketing needs or project management needs, then make sure that you connect with Rita and her company, so that you can get those things done for you and that she can help you so you can delegate. If you need to delegate, please make sure
Yes.
that you reach out to her so that she can help you with your needs. So once again, Ms. Rita, I just want to thank you so much for coming to the show for Inspirational Talks. Here I just want to always inspire and encourage others, and also bring talk to people from around the world about what they're doing and how they're leaving their stamp on the world and making the world a better place. So I thank you tonight for being my guest, and I'm honored again to have you. Okay.
Oh, the honor is mine. You're such a sweet soul, and I can feel the God in you. I can hear it in you. So you just keep doing what you're doing. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Well, hey everybody, you heard it here. We talked to Miss Rita. If you want again, listen to this again. If you got to listen to it once or twice, keep listening to it. Make sure you share it with your friends and meet us back here every Monday on Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie to see all the amazing guests that we will have here. We thank you for sharing your time and space with us tonight. You could have been anywhere, but you're here listening to the podcast. Peace and blessings to everyone, and come back and join us soon.
I have gained so many valuable lessons from my experiences. In writing Things I Wish I Knew, Letters to My Little Sisters is a collection of heartfelt conversations with young girls and young adults all over the world, helping them to be prepared for things ahead. This has been another purpose-packed episode of Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast. Please remember to like, share, and tell your friends about the podcast. Stay tuned for many more Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie.